So get this right, it's 2010, Sonic is their laughingstock and desperately needs a win. Sonic Unleashed was a game that a lot of people said had potential but was yanked back. And Black Knight was barely a thing people paid attention to and lasted like 3 hours. So, what does Sega announce? This title right here? This was already a reason to worry. However, when the game came out, what we got was a mobile game slapped on consoles. At the time, the game was decently well received by the general public, but Sonic fans knew instantly this ain't right. Of course, a lot of the media started making fun of Sonic fans, saying, oh, they're just too high up and pretentious and all that, when this ain't Sonic 4. Let's just be real here. It isn't. So what's the plot of Sonic 4? Eggman is a thing, he's doing something bad, go revisit some old shit to stop him. Or don't, cause I gave up at the final boss fight. Sonic 4, everybody! Are there any in-game cutscenes like Sonic 3 had after every level? No. The structure of this game doesn't really make it a super viable thing. The game has a 4-act structure with every zone. Acts 4 always being a boss fight. They could have been pretty alright, but the thing is, you can pick them at any time. You could pick Act 3 before Act 1. You could go to Labyrinth Act 3 before you've even finished Splash Hill Act 2. Why? It's a mobile game. That also goes for the controls too. These controls are made for tilt controls, which is why the physics is so odd. And why you stop on a dime, it's to compensate for tilt controls being ass. That's why most of the game is the way it is. It's a mobile game. These weird looking visuals, the game was made cheaply and fastly and had to fit on WiiWare, which if you don't remember, WiiWare was very limiting on what could fit in it. So overhauling the console versions was just out of the question. It's also why we have weird gimmicks like these water rooms in Lost Labyrinth. It's all in service as these tilt controls. In fact, if we look back to a leaked beta build of the Xbox version, this was meant to be a quick and dirty port job to consoles, including levels that just aren't in the console version like Xeno Knight Act 2. To play this game in the context of what it was designed for, a mobile game built around tilt controls. The game is fine, you know, it's nothing special, nothing horrendous. But on consoles, in the same year as Sonic Colors, and competing against other modern revivals of classic formulas like New Super Mario Bros. Or Mega Man 9 and 10, this just doesn't stack up, because it wasn't designed to. But Sega was so desperate for an easy win in 2010, and Sonic Colors was already shaping up to be that win. They just had to take this dimmed-developed mobile game, change its name from Sonic the Portable, which as you can see is still in the background of Casino Night, and slap it on consoles. Because if they called this mobile tilt-only Sonic game Sonic 4, they would have been called out. So slapping it on consoles was an easy, surefire way to make sure they weren't called out. They were still called out. That just about covers episode 1 other than the OST. But other than reusing a cut song from 3D Blast, I'll save this discussion for episode 2. Finally, like I said up top, I didn't finish Sonic 4 episode 1. This boss fight is fucking bullshit. And unlike another game I'll get to, I didn't have enough fun with this game to justify beating the boss fight. Especially when all you really get is a teaser for episode 2. Speaking of which, Sonic 4 Episode 1 was clearly just called Episode 1 to cover up for the fact that Sonic the Portable was a mobile game slapped on consoles, but when it came time to follow through, I'll give them credit, they did follow through. They gave Dimps more of a budget this time, and of course because this game was now on full 3D and had bigger file sizes, it never came to WiiWare. But other than that, it came to every other console the original did. 2 years later, What? We got like 5 new zones. How did this take 2 whole years? Who knows? But what I do know is that this is a way better game. But in the same way how going from Hell Enable 1 to 2 is like going from a 2 out of 10 to a 6 out of 10. Sonic 4 is an above average game, I'd say. The physics are better. The new gimmicks with the Tails move combo bring back an idea from Sonic Advance 3. But since Tails has always hit, they could do more with him. Like have dedicated segments to swimming, flying, and should I blow this? I also like how they've handled stealing old levels here. They can find multiple different level aesthetics here, such as Oil Ocean with Sandalpus for the ultimate weight. This is a level. They also have the classic auto-scrolling level in a Sonic game. Why did these ever exist? I don't know, I find this game overall more enjoyable compared to episode 1, but without the Sonic the Portable thing to talk about, there just isn't much to really talk about for Sonic 4 episode 2. It's a Dimps made 2D Sonic game. In fact, it was the last 2D Sonic game Dimps would ever make, with Sonic Lost World 3DS being the last Sonic game they'd ever made, and that came out the next year. Why was it we never got episode 3? Sega cut Dimps off. Or was it because episode 2 only did okay? According to Izuka before the game came out, there was no plans for episode 3. Then what the fuck is this ending? I guess there's a little bit more of a plot this time, since Eggman's taking over Little Planet again, which is currently the Bad Future, which Eggman can access somehow. Thanks Generations, but still stealing assets from you to this day. Why the sudden focus on Sonic CD? Christian Whitehead's Sonic CD remake was coming out roughly the same time, and this game acts as a sequel to CD. That explains some things. There's also an episode metal caused by lock-on technology. As long as you had episode 1 on your console, you get episode metal, which, why was this made in the episode 1 game engine? Episode 2 had a way better engine. The short answer is, because episode metal is a mod of episode 1. What the fuck is this game? Finally, let's listen to that music. Yeah, let's talk about this. So you ever play any of the early 3D Sonic games, Adventure 2, Adventure, Heroes, and others? We have Jun Sonoe to thank for that. However, he got to start working on some Genesis games, and Sonic 4 is trying to replicate those Genesis games in terms of music. Why does it sound so bad? Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Heck, he did the thing again where he reused some Sonic 3D Blast music, but he chose the clown music for the boss fight. And even in saying that, the original still sounds better. And that is Sonic 4. An incomplete saga, shot in the foot at the beginning, by having its name changed and me putting an environment it was never going to succeed in. And by the time episode 2 came out, they had changed so much that calling it episode 2 was kind of a stretch, since that isn't how episodic releases usually work. And despite being better, episode 1 burned everybody. Not helped by not being that great of a game, it was an above okay game. After this point, 2D Sonic just kind of died for a while there. Well, they had been coming out ever since 2001. After Sonic 4 Episode 2, 2D Sonic games just kind of stopped happening outside of Runners and the 3DS Sonic Boom games were just generic 3D platformers. That was, of course, until Sonic Mania came out, and that's what we'll be taking a look at next time. So until then, take care. Bye!